Howdy, howdy. Welcome back.
Hope everyone had a good Labor Day weekend.
It was a good Labor Day. I had fun yesterday. I didn't really do much, kind of slothed around, but...
Yeah, well, it's not like a weekend, a Sunday, or the last day of a weekend in general, unless it gets to like 8 o'clock and you're like, wow, I didn't do anything today. And you start feeling bad about yourself. But I hope in general everyone had a good weekend. But...
Did you do anything crazy over the weekend?
No, I don't do crazy stuff. That's not me.
Well, we got our bear fact for today.
Is it the one that you were sharing with me earlier?
No. Today, hunters kill around 180 Kodiak bears every year. But it is like tightly controlled regulation.
Oh, yeah.
5,000 people apply to be one of 496 people that get a bear permit.
Really?
Only 496 people are allowed to go kill a bear or go kill a Kodiak bear, and over 5,000 people apply for that every year.
I wonder how many people... Well...
I'm sure there's a lot of people in there that get that permit to save that bear.
Maybe.
I would get that permit to save that bear.
Well, I wonder how they select people for the permit. That's kind of interesting.
Another thing below, it says hunters who are not residents of Alaska must hire a professional guide paying between $10,000 to $20,000 a hunt.
Really? Wow.
Do you want to guess the percentage of which gender kills more Kodiak bears? Like what the percentage of males that kill Kodiak bears is?
Probably 99%.
70.
Okay. Yeah.
Still a good 2/3.
Yeah. Well, a little more than that.
What do you mean? 1% more than that. 2/3 is, okay, 4% more than that.
A little bit more. That's why I said it.
Fuck you. It's the same thing, man. I like to round. It saves time.
I started watching a TV show on Netflix.
Fucking cares.
Yeah, good. I'll just stop talking.
Okay, perfect.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything to say. I just didn't want to hear about your stupid ass TV show.
It's called House of Cards.
You're watching House of Cards.
So I get back to my apartment last night, and Ryan had put on the first episode. Basically, as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh, okay. So I sat down, started watching a little bit. It's good. Like, it's really good. I had no idea that, what's his name?
Tommy Lee Jones.
David Fincher directs, or he has directed at least one episode. I think he directed the second one. David Fincher is known for the movies he's directed. He did Seven, that movie with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. He also did Fight Club. He also did another movie that's really good that I can't think of right now, but he's done some really good movies. So I do recommend it. It's also a shame that they had to cancel House of Cards because of Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey is the lead character in the movie, or in the TV show. But, interesting enough, he is actually filming a new movie right now.
Really?
So he's been out of movies for the last 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
But do you know the story behind
Kevin Spacey?
Yeah.
I know there was just something with touching people. What's
interesting about it is it was an allegation, and maybe I should look up whatever ended up happening with it, but
just keep talking.
It was an accusation that okay, mate, he's major walked out the room. That's fine. I guess if you don't want to hear about it, then you could have just said that. But I'm going to look up the allegation real quick. But what happened was, it happened in 1986. So a long time ago. And Kevin Spacey was charged with a felony for allegedly sexually assaulting journalist Heather Unruh's 18-year-old son. In July of 2016. He pleaded not guilty.
Wait, so what did 86 have to do with that?
Well, then I forget what happened. No, apparently in 86 it happened. So maybe there was a bunch of sexual misconduct accusations against him. But it's unfortunate that's who he is. But he's a really good actor.
He is a good actor.
He's a really good actor. And he's usually really good at whatever he does.
He was in Horrible Bosses, right?
Yeah.
He was the bad guy, right?
Yeah. Right now, he is going to star in a new movie that's about to come out. So I'm interested to see how that turns out. Maybe he can redeem himself. I don't know. I like to hope that he can.
In today's world, once you get canceled, it's kind of hard to come back.
It is hard to come back, but it can be done. And I think he could. It just depends how he does it. You know, the way that he presents himself, whether he's like, oh, you know, that was something that I'm not proud of, or maybe he is proud of it. So like I said, it would just depend on how he goes about doing that. But I'm interested. I'm looking forward to it, to see whatever he ends up doing. Because he was really good in American Beauty. He was really good in The Usual Suspects. He did another movie called The Life of David Gale, which I thought was okay. And funny enough, that movie was filmed here in Austin, and one of my friends, Sam from high school, his older brother played his son in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, so Sam's older brother played Kevin Spacey's son in the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's like a few scenes where his brother's there in the movie. And I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. But
how did he get selected for that?
I don't know. And I don't know what the whole process was, but obviously he auditioned and they picked him. So, and he's not an actor now. I don't know what he does, but he's not an actor. I just thought that was interesting. But yeah. Also, apparently there was a lot of people that went to go see the new Marvel movie.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it did really well. It's a really good movie. Good story, good fighting.
But if you look at, apparently a lot of people went out to go see movies. Whenever there's a good movie to go out and go see, I feel like a lot of people are tired of browsing Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu. So the demand to go out to movie theaters is there, because I can pull up an article real quick. The Shang-Chi.
If you're American, it's Shang. If you want to say it correctly, it's Shang.
Shang-Chi. It's been doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Thus far.
I give it, honestly, I give it like a 9.8.
Its box office in the first weekend,
Let me guess.
its budget was $150 million.
Its budget was a 150.
His budget was $150.
Box office was
one weekend. Just think about one weekend.
Is it more than the budget?
No.
79.
95.
I mean, that's not horrible. I mean,
That's
only first weekend though.
That's what I'm saying. It's the first weekend. And so if I had to guess, it'll end up doing about 300 million.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
They're definitely making their money back on that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Especially if it's a good movie. And so now that people can go to movie theaters, and people want to,
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that was the one thing that really hit my mind whenever COVID hit, is I was like, oh my God, movie theaters aren't a thing anymore. Buffet food, not a thing anymore. But I mean, it's all slowly coming back.
Man, you're going to miss out on the Golden Corral. You ever had Golden Corral?
Never been to Golden.
Never been there?
Never.
I've been there on 2 occasions, both at
Baseball. Yeah, you know what? I might take that back. I know we went to some buffet that was like Golden Corral, and then we told the waiter that it was Dathan's birthday. It might have been Golden Corral. It was one of those buffet types.
Yeah, and so I think it was during a Kansas baseball trip. We went like an hour and a half east from Garden City, and we played some team there. Actually, you know what? I take it back. We went to Golden Corral when we went to New Mexico. We went to Roswell and played a tournament there. And after one of our games, we went to Golden Corral, and I was like, wow, I've never been here before. And the food was okay. It wasn't fantastic, but it was okay. Yeah, lots of stuff coming back. It's exciting. It's also nice being on campus, going to school and seeing a bunch of people, going out and doing things.
I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten all day.
Really? Well, there's food to eat. There's definitely fish. Definitely fish. The whole house smells like fish right now.
I can smell it.
I can still smell it.
Yeah. I like fish, but I would eat it more if it wasn't made here every single night. Like every night Dad makes fish, and then he might make something for me, but like I honestly feel like I would eat fish more if it wasn't every single night. 'Cause you know how tired I am of smelling fish. I like fishing, but like I come home every time and all I smell is.
But it's good.
It is good, but the smell, man, it gets to me.
Yeah.
I smell it every night. Every night.
Yeah. Well, especially when mom's cooking because she doesn't know how to figure out how to get the smell to not go throughout the entire house. I think she does it on the stovetop, which is why that happens. Maybe she should try the oven. But funny enough, Brett, he invited me to go to his lease tomorrow to go hunting.
Nice.
So that's where I'll be tomorrow after work.
So we're not recording tomorrow?
No, we will. If I can get done.
Hunting at 7 p.m.
No, so he said if I can get off before 5, then we'll go. So then I'd like to be here around 2, 3, and then we can do it then.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I don't know what we're hunting. I think he said that dove season just opened up, so we might be doing that.
Yeah, I do know birds just started.
Yeah. So that's exciting. Might get some pigs. I don't know. I was like, do I need to bring anything? He's like, yeah, you know, if you have your own gun, bring it. Otherwise, I have everything else. I was like, well, I don't have my own gun. He's like, okay, then I'll bring everything. So I need to get one at some point. I need to get one soon. And I've been talking about it for over a year now.
Yeah.
I've been trying to go to a range, but it's just been hard to like go with people.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that I want to try. I mean, I've shot a gun before.
Okay, if you had to choose your home defense, your self-defense, someone breaks into your house and you have a gun in your house to protect you, what kind of gun are you taking?
It wouldn't be anything crazy over the top. I mean, something like a personal defense weapon in the house. I mean, you know that my first choice would be a 1911, a full-size 1911, but you know, they're really heavy and they're 45 ACP, and I mean that's what I would lean towards. But then just like for a general purpose, you know, if I wanted to carry it, I could. If I wanted to have it around, it would probably be something compact. So you can get like a compact 1911, or Springfield Armory makes a lot of great weapons. Brett was actually showing me his carry on, I think Saturday night. He got a laser sight for it.
Nice.
So it's like a little rail underneath the trigger guard, and so you could underneath the barrel. Underneath the barrel is like a rail. So then you just slide it on, and then you screw it in, and then you can line it up later. But it's really cool. So then like he shot the laser outside the window, and it went through the window, but then to the building 2 blocks down, you could see the laser on the side of the building. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I would say for me, like, if someone broke into my house and I use a gun to protect myself, it would be something small, compact, like a pistol, just, like one shot. But the reason I brought this question up is because one time I went to help John Martinez. I went to help him help his dad move a washer-dryer combo, and then ended up like falling through. And so we just went to Olive Garden, and we were sitting there and we were talking. And I think it was John's dad.
Which Olive Garden? Burn it?
Lakeline.
I didn't know there was one over there. Anyways.
Right where 620 runs into 183. But he brought that question up, like home defense, someone breaks into your house and you're going to shoot them. There were 4 people there. There was me, John, John's dad, and John's dad's like life friend. They're both divorced and they don't want to remarry, but they want someone to live with for the rest of their lives. So they're just like life partners.
Okay.
It's kind of cool. But John's dad brought the question up, and I said a pistol. I think John said a pistol. His dad said a pistol. And then his life partner, she's actually ex-military. She was in the Marines for like 10 or 15 years. And she was
a Marine.
Yeah. She was like, I'm taking a shotgun. I'm shooting through walls.
A shotgun. Would you ever get an AR?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you rather have an AR or an AK? I know they're the same thing, but they're actually different.
They are different. I'd rather build my own AR, the same way that Kurt did, because his is really cool.
I want to build my own AR, but at the same time, you get one speck of dust in the wrong spot and the gun doesn't work anymore.
That's not true.
They're so fragile. Like an AK, you can throw that thing in the mud, fill it with rocks, and it's still shooting.
Okay, so clearly, neither one of us know enough about guns.
you can do anything to an AK and it'll still shoot.
Right. But then military issue, United States, you don't think AR-15s can do the same thing?
I wouldn't say the same thing. I'm sure they can do some of the same things, but like an AK, you can't stop an AK. That thing will shoot no matter what. You can watch videos on it. I've seen so many videos of comparing AR to AK, and like the AR never passes the AK tests. What I mean by like crawling through mud and filling the gun with shit, and it's still shooting through all of that. AKs are it's an example of Russia. That is all it is.
I think it'd be cool to get an M16.
Yeah. With the rail kind of.
Yeah. From the 60s. Those are the 50s and the 60s. That's what we used in Vietnam. The United States. So the United States used in Vietnam. You know, I think my first choice would be a 1911. And it doesn't have to be by Browning. A Browning 1911. I think Springfield makes a nice 1911. Depends which ones you're looking at. But I was also looking at a Remington 1911 because it looks really cool. It's a really cool looking gun that I was looking online for. But actually, I want to see another. Okay, I guess it's just an M4, but no, I think obviously the first gun I would get would be a handgun. And I think somewhere, but I would get something compact, like a 4-inch, but definitely no bigger than a 5-inch. Because I think they do 6-inch barrels for really, really big guns.
Would you rather be able to shoot on a bullseye, like just turn, bop, shoot it straight on a bullseye, or be able to turn, throw a knife straight on a bullseye?
I think a knife.
Me too.
It'd be cooler.
That would be so cool.
Just pick up a knife.
I'd be an assassin.
Yeah, he'd be an assassin. Contract assassin.
Hitman.
I wonder. Well, no.
They're out there.
Yeah, they're out there.
They are out there.
Yeah.
You have.
But who do you go to? Like, if you like, I'm gonna
whack this guy.
How do you practice? How do you get good at it? I mean, obviously you're just.
There's definitely training.
You could do gun training, right? But at the same time, who do you go to? You're like, yep, I'm a contract assassin. If you need anything, just
let me know.
Just call me. Here's my number. Put me on Craigslist. Because if you how are they supposed to find you? How are they supposed to know that? Yep, that's the person you call.
I mean, I feel like if you're trying to kill someone, I feel like you'll know who to call.
Yeah, maybe. Would you ever kill someone?
It depends.
It just depends.
I was going to ask you, if someone was trying to kill you and you had to kill them to save yourself, would you feel bad, or would you carry that with you?
No. If they were trying to kill me actively and I couldn't stop them, submit them in any way, and there was only one option, then yeah, that's fine. That's not my problem.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. It would still haunt me for the rest of my life, but if I had to,
that you killed someone?
Yeah. If I had to do it, I had to do it.
Do you think men are stronger than women?
Yes.
Good.
There's different ways to think that though. Physically, a man is going to beat a woman's ass 10 out of 10 times. Mentally, I don't know. It's different. Emotionally, it's kind of different. Women can be fragile, but some men can be fragile.
Yeah?
I know you're fragile.
I am uber fragile. Don't mess with me. I'm a glass house. Walking glass house. I'm just looking at some of these funny things. Which gender is better?
Man.
No, I think women are better.
I mean, at certain things.
Well, I say there's no better time than right now to be a woman in all of history.
Yeah, that is so true. That is so true. I mean, at least in America, because there's still places all over the world.
That too, yeah. It's still
some third world countries, but I mean, women in America right now. Okay, I'm not trying to bring
women in developed countries.
Yeah.
What are you about to say?
Nothing.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold the flag on this one.
Why is it weirder for men to date younger women than it is for women to date younger men? Why is that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just personal preference. I like older women.
Yeah, you like older women?
I wouldn't mind.
But then it goes back to basically human nature across all of human history, that women typically are attracted to older guys and guys are normally attracted to younger women
Yeah.
because younger women are more fertile, generally speaking, and then
Older guys
are wiser.
and more probably financially stable.
That too. So why that's frowned upon in some ways, in some cultures, I don't understand it. I mean, like, age of consent deal. So then, but then women still get whacked with that thing too, like teachers having affairs with students. You're right. When that's also a conflict of interest, but also at the same time, an underage man, boy, at like, I think in most states, 17 is the age of consent. It's 18 in some, and then it's 16 in some too. But
Dude, in Mexico, it's like 12.
yeah, I mean,
There's some places where there is no age of consent.
right. Well, that's why there's some cultures that their children are married by the age of like 9.
Yeah.
And then your parents tell you who you marry.
Yeah. God, I was just about to say that. I'm like, imagine you're like 11, and then your parents are just like, you're marrying that person today, by the way.
Because it's business.
It's business.
It's all business. Like, yep, we're going to have a relationship with those people, with that family. So you're going to marry their daughter, their son.
Because they have bank
Yes. Whether it's bank or it's, whatever.
power.
Yeah. Morals or money?
It depends.
It depends. You keep saying it depends.
It does. A lot of things depend for me. Morals or money. Okay.
I understand things aren't all black and white, but just in any case, morals or money. You right now.
Morals.
So if you had to punch a homeless man for $100, you wouldn't do it.
Okay, so now we're kind of mixing like
Actually, okay,
hang on. We're mixing guilty pleasure and morals right now.
okay, not homeless. Let's just say a defenseless person. Someone who doesn't see it coming, like just complete cheap shot to the side of the face.
So are homeless people defenseless?
Well, in some cases.
So like punch a random person in the face.
Let's just say you're at the grocery store and there's just some guy waiting in line.
Are there any repercussions?
Well, yeah.
Why would I punch someone in the face for $100 to go to jail for 3 years?
You won't go to jail. You'll run away and you'll get away and
Looks like I'm getting a new game.
oh my gosh. See, that's the thing, morals or money.
No, I probably wouldn't. I mean, it depends on how hard I have to punch. Like if I have to deck them in the face, no, I'm not going to punch them in the face. But like if I just punch them in the face, then I'll give them $25.
You'll pay them to punch them.
Hey, stand still and I'll give you $25. Don't tell them what's about to happen.
But you can't do that because it's a cheap shot.
Isn't that what it was supposed to be?
It's a sucker punch. You just come out of nowhere. Bap.
Yeah, I won't tell him. Just like, hey, stand still, $25, look that way, and then look this way in 2 seconds. He looks that way. As soon as he looks back, bah! And then just leave a 20 on his chest and then leave.
Oh, because you knocked him out? I don't think you got that kind of punch power.
I think I got that kind of punch power.
Really?
One thing I've noticed over a long time of noticing, a lot of stuff is technique.
Oh, yeah.
Like mechanics. Like you could bench 1,000 pounds, but you might be able to throw a baseball 60 miles an hour. It's just about the form and how you punch. If you transfer the weight from the tip of your toes to your knuckles, I could punch harder than you, even though you're twice, maybe 3 times as stronger than me.
But yes,
Bruce Lee.
if you look at, there's an interesting video of Mike Tyson showing someone how to punch, and Mike was just take a step forward, and it's a twist, right? It's like using your whole body to make this punch happen. So before the guy was like, making his jabs, and Mike's like, "Nuh-uh, do it like this." And then he started rocking the bag. I mean, messing it up.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. Me and David have come to this conclusion a lot, or not conclusion, but we've come to this hypothesis. We don't know who would win in a fight. David thinks he would beat my ass. I think I would beat David's ass. The only thing is, I know exactly how David would fight me. Since I'm 6 or 8 inches taller than him, he has to get really close up on me. And he already told me, like, if we were to fight, he would just get close and personal and take my ribs out and just, like, lay gut shots on me. But do you remember that one fight the other night that I called you while I was at David's right after the fight ended? That dude that took, like, 250 punches to the face? Like, and he was barely walking. Like, he wasn't even reacting to anything. It was that tall, skinny dude versus the short, like, Asian guy.
Yes.
And his face was just deformed.
Yes.
I know exactly, like, David would do the same thing to me. He would run at me, but I don't know. I got the long, lanky arms.
Just kick him.
If kicking is allowed, I would fuck David up.
It's mixed martial arts, bro.
If me and David were...
There's no rules.
Because we were going to box. If we box, he might beat me. But if we do MMA, I'm not going to hurt David, but damn, I'll fuck him up. I like wrestling and, like laying on the ground and choking someone out.
Yeah.
I live for it.
Yeah. Then join a jiu-jitsu gym.
I do want to learn, mixed martial arts. I want to be able to just decommission someone.
Decommission someone. Yeah. You could if you tried. I have a quick question for you. Do you think vampires can get AIDS?
No.
Vampires cannot get AIDS.
They're not human.
So?
AIDS affects humans.
Well,
I know it's like a genetic thing. So
AIDS?
It's part of our gene.
Okay.
Vampires aren't human. So how
they're mostly human.
Yeah. I don't get the thing about the vampires, how they can like make their teeth longer or some shit like that. Even though it's all fictional.
I mean, if you look at any type of media, whether it's a movie or a TV show, everyone depicts a vampire in a different way. So
yeah, that is true.
I would say, yeah. I think vampires can get AIDS.
I'd have to see it to believe it.
Do you think the Me Too movement has gone too far?
The Me Too movement?
Yeah.
What's that again?
It's like women's rights.
Oh, and then like you see all those videos where it's like Me Too.
Yeah.
Me Too.
I was posing that as more of a joke more than anything.
I mean, if you really want to talk about it.
Okay, we can.
I don't know. With all this equality stuff and women want like these equal rights and like equal pay as men and all this stuff, it comes down to like if they want these like equal same playing field rights, there's a lot of rights that they're going to lose. Like when Mom told me about this, whenever Grandpa Tom and Mima got divorced, Grandpa Tom owned a business. He owned his own house in a nice neighborhood. And Mima lived in the shittiest part of Austin in a 1-bedroom apartment. And she got custody.
Custody of what?
Mom and Kathy.
Oh, really?
Because she was a woman.
Okay.
That was the only reason. Grandpa Tom had a way better like living space. But just because it went to the mom. Just because it was the mom. But like... That was a really bad example, but with
I see what you're saying.
Women actually like, I've seen videos of girls like wailing on men, just like bam, 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 just punch after punch after punch, and then that guy takes one punch and he's in prison.
Yeah,
that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad.
But I've seen some more videos now, at least more viral ones, where women are hitting men, and there's a cop nearby who arrests them.
Oh my god, I would love to see that.
I've seen it on a couple of occasions, just like whether it was a viral video or what. But I've also seen plenty of other videos where a woman's like hitting a man numerous times, and he doesn't hit her back, and then there's just like nothing, nothing comes of it.
Yeah.
Because then you can make that like, oh yeah, like it didn't hurt that bad. Like, come on, but it's still the same thing. It's still the action of assaulting someone.
Yeah. The thing is with me, and I've told myself this for a long time, if a woman were to be wailing on me like punch after punch after punch, I would probably have to take a good like 25, 50 punches once I get to the point where I'm like, okay, physically this hurts and I can't take this anymore. I just need one punch. Like just if I will take one punch and that is it.
I think what I would end up doing if I found myself in that situation would just be go to full on wrestle mode, and I think I would just like
choke her out.
No. What is wrong with you?
No, I mean like get her on the ground. And
no, I would
Nelson.
I would probably pick her up, and she could probably still be hitting me, and then just place her somewhere else. That's what I would end up doing, and then I would walk away.
I would pick her up and jump into a table. Are you kidding me? RKO, John Cena.
No. Either that or I don't know, just distance myself. It's not worth it.
And then also another thing, one that makes me so mad is just the rape accusation. Oh, he raped me. I didn't like it.
So things are changing. That's changing.
That one is changing a lot. I do know that, but it's still in the works.
Yeah, it's sad hearing the rape accusation stories because every false rape accusation or sexual assault accusation that isn't true, it harms the ones that are true.
Yeah,
because it gives less credibility to the circumstances where it does happen. Yeah. So all the false ones, all the money grabs, or whatever it is, whatever your motive is for falsely accusing a man or a woman of sexual assault.
I mean, also like if you false accuse someone of raping you and it follows through and it goes the way you wanted it to go, that person's life is over. They're a registered sex offender. Like they're fucked.
Right.
Over what? 50 grand? Million?
No, I feel like it'd be more than 50 grand, but even then it does make me sad. There's one story in particular.
Baseball player.
Was it a baseball player?
Yeah.
I thought it was a football player. I know that it happened here in Austin. I think it was Cedar Park. They made a Showtime documentary about it. And he was this really great football player, and he was accused of sexually assaulting, I think, an underage girl. And then he was incarcerated for like a year or two. Like he went to prison. But then they appealed, and through the appeal process, they found him not guilty. So he still spent a year or two in jail, but then he got out.
Yeah. Because
it turned out it wasn't true. And a lot of the evidence that they tried to bring forward,
so please tell me
they poked holes in all of it.
Accused him went to prison.
I don't think that's what ended up happening.
Man, shit.
Yeah, but I think what they do is they give him reparations.
Oh yeah. Did you hear about there was that one reparation? Someone spent like 6 or 7 years in prison for locked up for like an eighth of weed. And then they gave him like $50 when he got out.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sure you could find it, but someone was in prison for a long time over a bad charge, like that wasn't even that true. And they gave him like $50 when he got out and said, sorry about that.
His name was Greg Kelly.
The player?
The player. Let's see.
I mean, God, think about that. You're a D1 prospect, football player. One accusation and your whole career is out the window. Everything you worked for, all those 6 a.m. mornings, it's gone. It's gone. It didn't mean anything. It's not worth it.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
I think there was a player for Duke that happened to. He was a basketball player.
Maybe. I know that they made a 30 for 30 about the Duke lacrosse team. About a stripper, I think that they had it at a party or something. And yeah, you should watch it. I forget what it was called, but it was about the Duke lacrosse team. And it was kind of hard to watch.
Why?
It was just dark. It was.
Wait.
No, I don't know. They didn't kill her, but or maybe
I'm not gonna lie. I do know a story about some fraternity that ended up killing a stripper or some shit like that. It was either some sports team or fraternity that got a stripper, and she was dead the next morning.
And I think I don't want to speak about that because I'm not pulling that up right now. I'm probably going to speak out of term, but so it was Greg Kelly. So Greg Kelly was from Williamson County. That was, I think he went to Leander, and he had a 2014 conviction in a child sexual assault case overturned due to a faulty investigation, and now he's going to play on scholarship at Eastern Michigan, which is awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
But his career has that stain in it. Even though it wasn't true, anytime they hear about Greg Kelly, that comes up.
So Greg Kelly was arrested his senior year of high school in 2013 for allegations of sexually abusing a 4-year-old child. He was convicted a year later and sentenced for 25 years without the possibility of parole. He had been fighting to overturn his conviction ever since it was handed down, but the campaign really picked up steam when Sean Dick, a newly elected Williamson County district attorney, reopened the case. So then he was released on bond in 2017, with his attorney filing that another man had admitted to the crimes and evidence showing that there were many faults in the investigation. The kids who accused him of the crimes were never shown photographs to confirm Kelly's identity, for example. Let's see. The Texas Court of Criminal Appeals finally overturned his conviction in November, where he was declared innocent and fully exonerated.
God.
So I want to see.
Imagine that. You get home and the cops are like, "You're coming with us." You can't even ask questions because they think they have this case closed.
Right. And so they made a documentary called Outcry. It's a 5-hour Showtime documentary that came out, I think, about a year ago. And then it focused on his conviction and then the 6 years it took to overturn it.
He was in prison for 6 years?
I guess it was. Well, he was arrested in 2013, and then he was convicted in 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was convicted in 2014, and then he was released in 2017. So he was in prison for 3 years.
Wow.
He was doing 25
for nothing.
For something he didn't do. And then there's no... This article that I'm reading on CBS doesn't say anything about if they gave him reparations. Like, yep, sorry, you were falsely accused of this. Here's some money to make up for what we did. I don't know if that was part of the deal, but I'm going to see if I can find something about it. But yeah, no, that sucks. I mean, that's one of those really bad stories that wished you weren't true. Let's see.
Yeah, those stories are everywhere.
So I think I did just see something that they gave him money. Yeah, wait. So they released him on bond, and then still looking. This is a long article.
I do know of a story of a pitcher that was playing for Oregon State in like 2017, 2018. And he was like a prospect. Like he was getting drafted whenever the year was over. And he had a little case when he was like 15 or something like that. And then some journalist just decided to go dig it up. And he was going to go to the MLB, go be a pitcher, get drafted first round. But instead, everything just went out the window. He doesn't even play for Oregon State anymore. I mean, I'm sure he graduated already, but like at the time, yeah, he kind of just got dropped off.
Yeah. So it looks like from a separate civil lawsuit against, I guess that'd be Williamson County, he's eligible to receive as much as $250,000 for the state's Wrongful Incarceration Act.
Wow. I'm trying to get wrongfully incarcerated.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Do you think they give tattoos in prison?
Yes, you can get tattoos in prison.
I saw a really crazy article and watched a video about it and stuff. The United States actually makes money off prisons.
Yep.
They make money based on how many people are in the prison.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, but yeah, no, it's brutal. So, a part of his compensation under the Wrongful Incarceration Act He's trying to go to Texas right now, and I think he got accepted to go to Texas, and he wants to walk on, which would be really cool. The compensation will include free tuition to any college in Texas and $80,000 a year for the time he spent, and he will also get a small annuity. So if he was there for 3 years, and
He gets 250 grand.
240 grand. So
I like to round up, Brandt.
yeah, so that's still a crazy life. I mean, how do you go about? I mean, so clearly it happened. So whatever the crime was committed, but then they accused the wrong person, and so he got convicted and he went to prison. But then the attorney, his attorney, I guess, found the guy who actually did it, and then he admitted to doing it. And that's kind of how he got exonerated. But they made, a whole documentary about it. Maybe I'll go watch it. Yeah, those are the stories that suck. I wish those kinds of things wouldn't happen. I'm sure that in a lot of cases, those things do happen, but they just kind of get swept under the rug. And you don't really hear about them.
I mean, there was that one that Ben was involved in. He wasn't like primary involved in it. He was just an accomplice. Like,
He wasn't an accomplice.
sorry, I'm probably using the wrong word, but he was just in the area and he was friends with the people that it happened to.
Right.
So he got pulled into that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me try and figure this out. An accomplice is someone that is guilty.
An accomplice is someone who is part of the guilty party.
Okay, yeah. I need to learn all that law stuff.
Yeah, just go to law school. Take the LSAT.
Okay, Jordan.
Take the LSAT.
Okay, Jordan.
What are you saying that for?
I want to be a lawyer.
Why are you being like that? A lot of people want to be lawyers. My pledge brother Jackson just got a really, really good score on his LSAT.
I'm gonna go.
You know Jackson?
Yeah.
You've met Jackson?
Yes.
Dude, he scored in the 99th percentile on the LSAT.
That's impressive.
It is impressive.
I'm gonna go to school to learn how to argue professionally. Imagine
Just take
being
take the bait.
being married to a lawyer. I couldn't do it.
Well, being a lawyer just means you know the rules. So basically, being a lawyer is all about knowing what the rules are and knowing if there's loopholes here and there and applying what the rules are.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like if you're the attorney that stands like on the court floor and walks around and like talks to the person and shit, they have their way around words and they know how to say the right things. I don't know. So they're really good at arguing.
Right. I mean, just because you're good at arguing doesn't mean it would make you a good lawyer.
Oh yeah.
And just because you're a good lawyer doesn't make you good at arguing.
I don't know about that second part. I feel like if you're a good lawyer, you can argue pretty damn well. You have some ability to banter.
If you're a good lawyer, in the sense that you are, because you get specialized. You get specialized for a certain type of law, right? Yeah. In that case, you are, I wouldn't say pigeonholed, but I mean, like, yes, there's certain things about being a lawyer that might help you be good at arguing. But, I mean, the vast majority of the legal process happens before courtroom. It's finding evidence. It's making your case, trying to defend it, and then
it's like a Socratic seminar.
I think it's called litigation. I think litigation is the part of the legal process that takes up the most amount of time. And
it's all the logistics and stuff.
Right. So, look, I don't want to be a lawyer. I know a little bit about it, but I don't know a whole lot. But I'll just say that you can be good at arguing. You can even be a good lawyer. But if just because you're a good lawyer, you're good at finding evidence, you're good about doing your research, it doesn't mean you're also good at arguing.
Which is easier? Which coaxes you more into buying a product? advertising with logic or emotion? Because I know like overall they sell for emotion, but
Because it works.
you personally, which sells better to you, logic or emotion?
Definitely logic.
Me too.
Um,
If something tries to emotionally connect me, I'm like, okay, look, those sad puppies look really cute, but like,
I already have one.
yeah. But if something, I can't think of any examples, but if something just has sheer logic, just going all the way around and cutting the long side out of everything, just logic.
Well, there's you know the three different types of persuasion.
Oh, ethos, pathos, and logos.
Logos, yes. You know the difference between the three?
Logos is logic. Right?
Logic.
Pathos is emotion.
Pathos?
Ethos, pathos, and logos.
Yeah, pathos.
Pathos is emotion.
Yes.
And then I don't know what ethos is.
That's like what we were talking about with Shaq. If we wanted to sell something, we'd put Shaq's face on it and say, oh, that's credibility.
Oh. Okay.
So, I think what sells the best with me would be logos. Like if it was something like,
like some kind of beard trimmer or something like that. I don't know.
Something marketed towards guys. So the first thing that comes to mind would be like a beer commercial, right? They'll talk about like, oh, it's only got this many carbs and, but then in a lot of cases, a lot of beer commercials, they're just like, this looks cool. This looks fun. And that's what they do with all kinds with alcohol. Like if you see a tequila commercial or a vodka commercial, it's like people out having a good time and like doing fun stuff. Like, yep, you can only do that if you're drinking this tequila. But I would say, yeah, in general, logos. What makes the most amount of sense to me. Because I'll see, like, it's such a turn off to me to see an
Pathos.
Well, okay. Those words aren't very cool, but
You were the one that brought them up.
I know,
you
but
were the one that
I
said
know
logo sells more to you.
I know, but I don't like them. But anyways,
Hippie critty.
if something was trying to emotionally charge, or something was emotionally charged and trying to get me to feel a certain emotion in order to buy something, it's usually a really big turn off for me. And I don't know why. It just happens instantly. It's like, oh, like I don't know how you'd be trying to pull up my emotions.
I wouldn't say for me it's a turn off. It's a turn off in one way. One way with the emotional side, it'll catch me. I'll watch the whole commercial and be like, wow, that was really well done. But it doesn't make me want to buy it.
Yeah.
If you make me want to cry from watching your commercial, I'm going to fucking cry when I buy your product.
I'll either walk away, like if I'm sitting at a TV. I'll just get up and I'll walk away. Like I don't want to watch your commercial. Or if it's like an ad like on YouTube or something, I'll skip it instantly. Like I don't want to watch it.
YouTube's getting too comfortable with those unskippable ads.
I know. I don't like them.
Like I remember when YouTube didn't have ads.
I do remember that.
And then it went to one like 15-second ad, and then it went to like one unskippable 30-second ad, and then it went to like.
But now it's 2 ads.
Now it's no matter what, it's 2 ads, and one of them is not skippable. If you don't skip the first one, you have to watch the second one. Because they give you a button like press here to skip both ads. If you don't press that button, you have to watch both of them.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe the skip button.
No, yeah, it makes sense. Do you think whenever you move into your first place, you're going to buy a dog or a cat first?
I don't know. That's kind of tough. Just because I like cats because cats are very self-sustainable. You just give them food and water and they live their lives. But with dogs, like, I don't know. I interact with dogs more. It would just come down to which dog I'm going to get. Because honestly, I'm not a small yappy dog person. But like, Piddle's been kind of growing on me.
Yeah.
I don't know. She's like, when she just cuddles up in your arm or something like that. She's a little chihuahua. Which one would you be more inclined to get?
I would say probably a dog. I like cats, but also I don't like
Hair.
hair. Well, dogs have hair too, but
Some dogs don't shed.
kitty litter. I don't like just there being poop in the house, pee, a container that you have to clean out. Maybe your cat kicks the kitty litter all over the room. I'm okay. Like, I like cats. I do like cats.
So what are you going to do when you wake up on a Monday morning?
But then there's a thing, though. It's like you go to someone's house and they have cats, you know it instantly. You can smell it. You can smell it if they have cats in the house.
That is true. I've never thought about it like that, but whenever I've gone somewhere that has cats, I kind of know before I see the cat.
Yeah, you can smell it.
Yeah.
And I don't like that, personally. Do you think this is an economics question for you? Do you think money should be the major source of motivation in economy?
In economy, yes.
Well, so
That's
I mean,
what economy is built around.
well, no, I mean, like, do you think your motivation to do anything should be based around money?
Not everything. I mean, sure, there should be a few things that kind of give you a drive to make money, but I don't know. I feel like the best drives aren't the ones for money. It's for other things, things that aren't materialistic.
Okay. What if, would you rather our society be like it is in Sweden, where everything is socialist, so everyone makes the same amount of money, everyone has the same things?
But they're also fucking rich over there. Like, they're all making the same amount of money, but they're all also making a lot of money.
No, not quite. But they all get the same things. They all get the same things, but then what they lack and what we have in our system is it's the idea that you could work hard enough to get what you want, right? To get more. If you work harder, you get more. But in that society, in that culture, it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're getting the same thing no matter what. Which would you rather have?
Where we are.
Okay.
Because it really gives you control of when you end up at the end of your life. You had control over all of it.
Right. And you can die knowing, well, everything was in my hands. And I had the ability to do whatever I wanted to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I stand with that too. I like that. I like that the best. It just, the idea of the government being involved in so much is a turnoff for me.
It's just a way for the government to make more money. That's all it is. And one thing I did learn the other day, I was talking to Dad. I was pitching him my idea about where I want to live when I grow up. I told him, I was like, I want to go get 100 acres out in Lampasas and then turn 50 acres into just whatever, baseball field, football field, all that fun stuff, and then turn 10 acres into a house and then live there for a little bit and then sell it and use that money to go build a new one. One thing I learned about buying and selling property is no matter what, the government's getting a piece of that.
Yeah.
And if you buy a house and sell it within 2 years, the government gets 30%.
Of the sale?
Yes. And if you buy and sell within, it was either 5 or 10 years, then the government only gets like 15% or something like that. But if you buy and sell houses, the government gets a stake out of all of it.
Yeah. That's a real estate tax.
Yeah.
Well, there's a small country, I think in either France or Spain, called, what's it called?
Gambia.
Is it Santa Monica? No.
That's a city in
Not Santa
California.
Monica. What is it called? They play tennis tournaments there.
Wimbledon?
No.
Oh, Roland Garros?
No, that's the French Open.
Paribas, something like that.
No. Hold on, I'm gonna find it. I think it's France.
The French Open?
No, not the French Open. Is it France? I think it is France. Hold on. I'm going to find it very slowly. It's a city. So it's a city state. It's its own. It's its own country, but it's a city.
Macedonia. Macedon. Macedonia.
What is it called?
Big Mac. Big Mac.
I'm just looking at ATP tournaments.
Dude, there's like 20.
There's a bunch, but I'm gonna find it. I think it's either in February or March. I'm gonna find this. It's killing me. There's the one in Dubai, Miami, Monte Carlo. That's what it's called, Monte Carlo. I thought
You're
Sam.
an idiot. That's a car, you dumbass.
No, Monte Carlo. It's in Monaco, and Monaco is that city state. So
I've heard of Monaco.
So the reason I bring that up, picture Mike.
You tell me that like I know how to fix it.
Well, it's buzzing, and I wish it wouldn't do that. I'm still trying to figure out how to fix that. But Monte Carlo, the reason I bring it up is because they get the government makes basically all of its money from real estate tax. Whenever you sell a house in Monte Carlo, the government there gets 50% always, because the houses there are so expensive.
Yeah.
And super rich people are buying and selling houses there all the time. And so what they can do is take 50% of every single house sold and basically fund their whole government.
That's all they need.
Because I don't think that they don't have income tax there, because they don't have that many residents per se. I mean, it's just a resort, basically. It's a resort city.
If you had to transfer out of UT and go finish school
Somewhere else?
at one of these 3 schools, where are you going to go? Texas Tech, Alabama, Florida State.
Definitely not Alabama. That's the last one on my list.
Look, all I'm going to say is it got worse whenever you picked up your mic.
I'm not doing anything.
You're fucking with your mic. It's you. It's you. It's you. Stop blaming it on me. It's you. We just figured out that it is Brandt's mic that's buzzing.
No.
Yes, because you cut your volume out and the buzzing went away.
Well, I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to fix it.
We're not audio buffs.
To answer your question, it would be a coin toss between Texas Tech and Florida State. Actually, I'd probably say Florida State. That's what. I'd go to Florida State. Yeah. I mean, I would like to stay in Texas, but
Okay, would you rather go to Duke, MIT, or Stanford?
not MIT.
Aren't like wickedly smart people? Those are the ones that go to MIT.
Yes, but they also work really hard,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I want to work that hard at school in that capacity.
I want to see some stuff about MIT real quick.
I'd probably say Stanford, but then Stanford's also just as hard as Duke or MIT is. But
Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
yes, that's what it's called.
Oh my God. You know what their acceptance rate is?
9,
Very close.
10,
7.
7. Yeah, it's pretty low.
And their graduation rate is 93.
Guess what?
Okay, then it's both of us.
Why is that happening? I don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
I'm going to try and figure it out, because I know you're not going to. Do you think paintball is a real sport?
Yes, but I don't think it should be an Olympic sport.
I think sports are more important than art.
Do I think sports are more important than art?
Yes. Well, try something. I mean, you're just sitting there.
No, I wouldn't say sports are more important than art, because art is a very very broad category.
Okay.
And that entails like painting, music, anything that has to do with sound or drawing, looking at something. I would say art's more important than sports, but sports are definitely more entertaining.
Yeah.
I don't know. Kickstart My Heart can be pretty entertaining, though.
It just depends on the person. I would say sports have really found themselves to be highly, highly entertaining things.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to be that way. I mean, I can't think of any artists nowadays like making paintings or pictures.
Yeah, I know art hasn't dropped off. A lot of people still do art, but you just don't hear about it the way you heard about Leonardo da Vinci and
Da Vinci.
I mean, even though that was fucking 600 years ago.
Yeah, no more Salvador Dali's.
Claude Monet. Same thing.
You're American.
Vincent Van Gogh. So are you, pussy.
But you can still go to art auctions nowadays and find some really interesting pieces. I mean,
right. If you guess what year MIT was established, we'll record for 3 hours. It's in the 1800s.
You didn't have to say that.
What if you said 1926?
I was, first of all, not going to say 1926. I'm going to say 1831.
You have one number off. One number wrong, I mean. You're not off by one number. One of those numbers is incorrect.
1821.
Other way.
1841.
61.
1861. Interesting. Yeah, been around for a long time. You know when University of Texas was founded?
Right around the same time, right?
I feel bad because I'm supposed to know this. I think 1889.
Man, how can you even call yourself a long
86.
83.
83. Okay, so I knew it was in the 1880s.
Dang, Texas heard about MIT and they're like, damn, we got to do something.
Yeah.
What is the required GPA for UT?
There's not a required GPA, but whenever I transferred in, the transfer average was my exact GPA.
It requires you to be near the top of your class and well above average. 3.83.
When I transferred, I had a 3.75.
So you were like on the line for them.
Well, yes.
Even though like in the end it doesn't matter.
I mean, it matters what your GPA is, but also at the same time, there's other factors that do matter just as much.
Isn't like, if you do
Philanthropy.
volunteering and stuff like that, philanthropy, doesn't that help you get into college?
It does, because they look at you as a whole person.
As a person.
Yes. So part of your application process includes,
Who you are.
right. So your resume, and you can put, I've always thought that the resume process of applying to a college as a high school student was really interesting, because in a lot of cases, some people have like, I played these sports and this was my grades, and I played.
I worked at a burger joint for 2 years.
Yeah. So then they've got like a half a page worth of stuff on a resume. And usually your resume, in a lot of cases, should only be about 1 page long, top to bottom.
You can get everything in 1 page.
Right.
Do you have a resume?
I haven't worked on my resume in a while. I think the last time I had to work on it was for my pledgeship when I was at Delt.
I update mine like every 6 months.
Really?
Just when I'm doing all this stuff, and I just got so much to add to it.
Yeah, so many things to add to your resume.
Like honestly, I might need 2 pages.
It's like, yeah, I need 3 pages of my resume.
Sheesh.
But yeah, so then in a part of the process, you need like letters of recommendation. It's way better to have them than not to have them. So basically you reach out to people who know you, and they'll say some nice things about you, just kind of like round about your character and stuff. So then I remember when I was talking to some of the admissions, the undergrad admissions at UT, they said that definitely the most important thing is what your GPA is. And then everything else kind of comes after that. But then there's, like I said, testing scores. Because I think there's a bunch of people who they can make up for a low GPA with high testing scores.
Yeah.
But then, because what the GPA really points to is your work ethic.
Yeah, and just
right. So
you could have a shitty work ethic, but actually be really smart.
Right. Very possible. It happens a lot.
Do you know anyone that perfect scored either the ACT or the SAT?
Yes. Who was it? Someone on the baseball team. Anderson, I think, got
Rainey?
I don't think it was Rainey. It might have been Cavan.
I could see it being Kevin. He's at Stanford right
Cavan,
now.
yeah, Cavan's at Stanford right now. I think he got a perfect score on his ACT.
I do know one person that got an SAT perfect score, and then my friend Sam, he cheated on his SAT and got a 1430.
He cheated?
He didn't. He was just looking at people's around him, just like looking at their Scantron, and then looked at that Scantron, and then looked at that Scantron, and was like, okay, I'll put B for that one.
Really?
And you know how much money San Angelo gave him off?
Hold on. You're going to just sit here and incriminate him?
Well, I mean, it's done. It's done deal. He doesn't even go to San Angelo anymore.
Well, they gave him money. Okay, he says he cheated. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. You can't.
He did it by himself.
You can't prove it.
I know it was a few $1,000s, but like, yeah,
Really?
yeah.
But the way they hand out the tests is
They're all different forms.
They're different forms, right?
Yeah. So it was honestly like he got a blind shot in the dark and got lucky.
So it was obviously out of 1,600.
Yeah, it was a 1,600
Okay.
score.
So it was 1,440 out of 1,600. Wow.
30. I got
1,430.
Yeah, I got a 1040.
Mm.
That's kind of bad, but like I don't really care.
I mean,
Those standardized tests were.
if you study for it, it's not that difficult. If you take it once and you get an idea for what it's going to be like, the next time you take it and study a little bit more, you'll do just fine. I think I only took it. I did way better on the SAT than I did on the ACT. There's something about the ACT that I didn't like. I think it was just the science part because there's not a science part on the SAT. But
I never took the ACT. I only took, I think, one SAT. I might have taken two. I can't remember.
yeah, I think what we're talking about in our fantasy group as a punishment for last place is you have to go take the SAT.
And you have to get higher than 1,100.
Yeah.
I remember like freshman year, we took practice SATs and they were like, this isn't for a grade. So just like, do it. I got a 660 because it wasn't for a grade. So I just kind of like filled in answers.
That's funny. Yeah, I remember they made us do that my freshman year too. They give you the PSAT.
The PSAT.
Yeah.
Honestly, just as it gets further away, thinking about it, high school is just, it's done. It's gone. It's in the past. I know it's.
What do you mean?
Never go back. Like, high school is done.
It is, yeah.
High school is just one of those things in the past now.
Well,
I know, and it
you graduated. You're not there anymore. So yes, it's in the past.
I know, and it's probably a little different for you because you graduated like 4 or 5 years ago. I graduated 2 years ago, and
So you're still trying to come to terms with the fact that you're not in high school anymore?
not that. Just I don't know. It already hit me a while ago, but just the fact that it's like, wow, I'm never going back. Like that's in the back of my head for the rest of my life.
Yeah. You get used to it.
I'm sure you have.
Well, I'm glad that I'm where I'm at right now and I'm not in high school anymore.
Yeah, life post high school is way better than high school.
Yeah.
Even though there are aspects of high school that are fun.
Some, yeah. I mean,
I'd say
having a class dedicated for baseball is kind of nice.
Yeah, that was nice. I would say the biggest one for me is just being a minor,
No responsibilities.
No responsibilities, no repercussions. I mean, certain repercussions, but I wasn't stupid.
Right. But then I certainly don't miss having to go somewhere from 9 a.m. until 4:30 in the afternoon.
And then be treated like you were lesser. And even though like it's teachers and students, one thing that made me so mad about high school is you're always looking up to someone. And I know you're in high school, you're not supposed to be calling shots in high school, but like you get treated like a kid, even though I'm almost 18 and you're treating me like I'm 6th grade Go sit down in your seat. Bitch, my legs are longer than yours. I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. But yeah, I still can't believe how I got by going from, or why I was just like, yep, that's just a part of life. You go to school from 9 a.m. until 4:30 in the afternoon every single day.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just one of those things.
Nuts. It's nuts.
I saw someone talking about it. They were like, you can really make kids believe whatever because they don't have anything to reference to. Like they don't know anything. So what you tell them is what they know. And then after I thought about that for a while, I made a really funny joke to David. I was like, you can really do whatever you want with a kid. Like you could shelter it from the world its entire life.
How do you think North Korea feels?
Just be like, you're a dog. Bark.
Major, you should listen to that woman from North Korea who's been on a couple podcasts. You'll be able to find her. She tells her story about how she escaped North Korea.
I've heard one story about someone that escaped North Korea. That wasn't her.
And she was talking about how whenever you go to school in North Korea, you don't learn about the history of the world. In fact, you don't think any other countries exist. You learn about Kim Jong-un's family. You learn about how great they are.
Oh my God.
And you learn about, I haven't listened to a lot of what she said. I've been kind of waiting. Actually, I don't know why I've been waiting, but I've been putting it off. I know I need to listen to it. But she talks about how awful it is to live there in comparison to basically anywhere else in the world. It's so bad.
Whenever I was in Mangum's class, we watched a video about someone that worked for the North Korean military, and he worked like the border every night, and then just one night he saw his window, and he was like, "Sorry guys, I'm taking it." So
he worked on the border?
He was a border patrol for North Korea, and one night he saw his window to leave, and he was like, "I am not passing this opportunity." So North Korea is heavily guarded.
Oh yeah,
all the way around. They have, what is it the DMZ?
Never heard of it.
You've never heard of the DMZ?
What's DMZ?
You've never heard of the DMZ? I need to get the right words for DMZ.
Sounds like Run DMC.
Hang on. I need to find it. Yeah. Yeah, it's the DMZ, the North Korea DMZ zone. The demilitarized zone.
Okay.
But it's just...
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Electric fences everywhere, mines everywhere. And he said he spent like 3 days. Well, whenever he first left, he had to get through the high voltage electric fences. And so they figured out a way to like cut the power off for a certain amount of time, threw all their clothes on the fence to like insulate the current, and then they crawled under it, and it was like 7 layers of like high voltage electric fences. The first guy gets through, the dude that was telling the story, he gets through, and then he looks back as his best friend is coming through, and they were diverting the electricity for like 2 minutes, and they couldn't go longer than that. Electric fences turned back on. His friend just got fried. He was like, I remember watching my friend get fried in front of me. But he was like, then I had to spend like 2 or 3 days crawling on my hands and knees, or like my elbows, and I can't remember what the military crawl is, but through just like kind of swamp, open area, because there's mines everywhere. He was like, I had to go like a few inches at a time just to make sure I wouldn't touch the wrong mine or something like that. But when he finally got to the United States, he was having like a good time. He gets a letter from North Korea that said, hey, don't worry about your family. They killed his whole family.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a brutal place over there. I think that's a good end topic.
Yeah, North Korea.
We've had yesterday's podcast and today, we've had some pretty brutal topics.
We have.
I'm kind of in for it. I mean,
yeah,
it's edgy.
Edgy. What a word.
I think it's been a good one.
Is that what you think?
My stomach's gone.
Okay, enough of that. I don't want to hear that.
If anyone is making a zombie movie and they need voices, just let me know.
No. You can go to zombie school.
There's no way that's a thing.
You go to zombie school to learn how to be a zombie to be in movies. That's a thing.
I was thinking about that. Like, how do they choose extras for a movie? Do you train to be an extra?